KATC Weather Lab. Here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back and welcome to the weekend. Hopefully you have a happy and safe holiday weekend. Weather cooperating, lots of sunshine. Just got to watch out for that heat. Don't do too much outdoor work, but do have too much outdoor play. Why not? But protect yourself from the sun and stay hydrated. So let's take a look at the big picture and want to back up first off and just go through some of the river stages. This is available at KATC.com. You can get the latest stages on our Acadiana Sportsman's page. And of course, what we'll be watching closely is the Chafalaya River at Butte La Rose in Morgan City. Those are the benchmarks, and right now they're holding steady. And fortunately, the water down in Stevensville holding off a little bit, caused the breezy south winds that were not allowing the water to evacuate out in the Gulf of Mexico have relaxed, and that's allowing a little water to come down. Got up to about 8.5 feet, have come down a few inches in spots, so that's the good news. But by any stretch of the imagination, we think the river will be likely rising into June. It again depends on how much is let through the Morganza spillway, and the river levels are going to stay high more than likely through July. So we'll be watching this closely. More on the rivers in just a bit. This afternoon, threat of severe weather and heavy rainfall. Same areas once again with active tornado watches, tornado warnings, and severe thunderstorm warnings going at this hour. You can see a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, Texas into southwestern Oklahoma, and then points off to the north and east. And the threat of heavy rains here, and that is the big problem as we look at all the flood watches and flood warnings going right now. Areas that have been getting hammered, then we throw the European model on and watch where that rainfall piles up. This is over the next 10 days. So more heavy rainfall, and eventually all this water drains toward the Mississippi. If you remember that graphic I showed you yesterday, and eventually comes down the Mississippi. So that's what we'll be watching in the days ahead. So the river forecast, all the rivers that are in moderate or major stage, you can see across Oklahoma where there's severe flooding, into Kansas and portions of Missouri again. And all this water will be continuing to head downstream with time. We watch the rivers locally, Baton Rouge, of course, over toward New Orleans as well. But the bellwether is the Red River landing on the Mississippi River. We watch that level because that dictates on the trigger on when the Morganza spillway is open. And looking at the river graph right now, it's been slowly rising since March. It crested in March at 63.13 inches. Now it's back on the rise. We only go out a few days, and this is where the question marks kick in. This plot showing the spillway opening up and the river flattening out, but that does not essentially have any truth to it for right now. So we'll be watching the longer range forecast, but the bottom line, the rivers will be coming up, and we'll be watching them closely in the days ahead. Temperature-wise, today, pretty much the same. Started out in the mid-70s, finished off in the lower 90s, currently 87 Lafayette, 88 in Abbeville, and the weather pattern pretty much steady state with some clouds moving in tomorrow morning, mostly sunny skies in the afternoon, maybe a pop-up shower, but rain chances no higher than 5% for anywhere in Acadiana. And we do it all over again Saturday night, Sunday morning. More sunshine Sunday, so a degree or two hotter. Today we were 91. We'll go 92 for the high tomorrow and 93 on Sunday. Tonight temperatures get down into the low to mid 70s, cooler to the north, warmer and more humid to the south. Upper 80s, lower 90s tomorrow afternoon with the heat indices 96 to 98. Tomorrow night maybe a little bit drier, a little bit more comfortable. Upper 60s to lower 70s. Most of us in the lower 70s, but upper 60s possible. Ville Platte on northward. And then for Sunday afternoon, temperatures well into the lower 90s, and that heated next once again in the upper 90s. So a nice warm evening ahead, nearly calm winds. Some clouds by daybreak, 73, 74 the low in Lafayette, 91, 92 the high tomorrow with morning clouds giving way to plenty of afternoon sunshine. Not much of a breeze out there, and that's the way it goes the entire weekend. Daytime highs between 91 and 93 for most spots, and we stay hot and get more humid going into next week. But eventually the chance of a few showers or storms along about next Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Right now we're thinking Thursday, but the heat stays with us beyond the 10-day forecast, maybe for the next 4 months.
Those cooling showers when it's in the 90s.
Right, yeah,
you know?
That's when you're looking forward to the showers, right?
I bet.